So I ended up getting that leak fixed yesterday. I forgot to tell you guys about it. Just quick, easy, make a gasket for it, be on our way. I ended up making one. So it's snowing now, just a little bit, snow, rain, kind of like a mix of everything. So we're heading down to the P.O. box now to grab whatever rest of the parts came for the truck that we're working on, and working on scheduling another job for this week and whatnot. Just going through. I'm probably gonna head to the storage lot and move some stuff around. We're gonna be working on the VGT here in the next couple weeks as well. Also just waiting on parts for my 04 because we're gonna be, like I said, going through everything. Bill it, everything. And then being that that's so, I don't know, I may start painting parts on it too. We'll see. I'm gonna have to go and get some parts because there's certain ways that I kind of want to try some paint out if we can get this engine cleaned and whatnot. So I do need to pressure wash it down and everything before we, before I end up tearing it apart. So I'll take it. I got the wheel wells out of it now so that it makes it easier. But let's get to the P.O. box, see what parts we got, and then head to the storage lot. All right, so we got a pretty important part of the build is the tone ring. So once we get everything in, we're gonna work on everything all in one shot, as opposed to trying to just, let's do one thing, back and forth. So I'm gonna go throw this in the truck. It is raining right now. Raining / snowing / sleeting. So it's like, it's a pretty cold, obnoxious day. Did grab a couple of things out of here. Throw these in the back of the truck. I'm gonna start saving boxes because you guys keep asking for parts. So to ship stuff. So if you guys did miss yesterday's video, here's the VGT turbo we just took off. So you'll notice that the truck's a little bit louder. So we're not running the VGT anymore, mainly because we are gonna build the controller for it. So just going through, putting some stuff in here. Still got a fender left and whatnot. If anybody wants two things that are expensive, I need that instrument cluster gone, and I need that tip-em for an 03 to 05 gone as well. So we're gonna save this. So I might be picking up a flatbed here soon. Number of you guys have been asking me, am I quitting Hotshot? No, absolutely not. I have some really good news for you guys coming up next month. So, in the process of trying to find a flatbed trailer, if you guys have anything, around $350 a week is the budget. If not, I'm gonna go, I really don't wanna go buy one new, but if I have to, I have to. Looking for a big Tex, 40 foot, 35+5, tandem dually with a 5th wheel coupler. That's not really a big deal though, because I could always find one. But if you guys have any you want to send to me and you want to do payment plans on it, $350 a week is what I'm willing to do. I did $250 a week on the last one and I paid it off. So now we need to try and see if we can't do, I want to do $350 a week. Because if I'm going to try to buy a $15,000 trailer, I want it paid off as quick as possible. Trying to get everything debt-wise down. So if I can't afford to pay it off in 9 months, it isn't worth it to me. So with the fact that not much is going on today, it's rainy, just getting stuff prepped, waiting on parts for my truck. We got, some stuff back there, but we're still waiting on some parts and ultimately going through everything. I wanted to go and do an actual Q&A and go through the comments and answer some of the stuff that you guys have been asking, because I feel like it's been a really good idea and I haven't really connected one-on-one in a while, and I haven't done any live streams in a while either. But I got a good question. This is from James. He asked me, so I stopped hauling cars and getting into RV hauling again. No. So the thing is, up here locally, I am not able to do local hauls with RVs very much. This was a once in a blue moon. I'd love to do more. I love power only. I've always loved power only, but there isn't really any local work that pays all that well. I got about $950 for that one that I just ran, that paid the tolls, that paid the storage and whatnot. So ultimately, yeah, it was a pretty good deal for 1 day worth of work. But unfortunately, there's not much power only up here. Now, the reason I sold my car trailer, I didn't realize that cars tank the way that they do. And it's just one of those things, it's like, you gotta adapt or just quit. And I refuse to quit, so I'm looking for a 40-foot big Tex. What I can do with that is weld extensions onto the mega ramps, or, removable extensions and whatnot, so I could still haul 3 cars if needed. But ultimately it's for freight. That trailer that I had was not a good pick for freight. It was a netted deck. Yeah, it would have been great for strapping stuff down, but it wasn't. I really want a 102 wide. tandem dually, no more triple axles. I love the triples, but unfortunately, if you go to lease that out, other drivers just destroy it. So no, we're working on getting into freight. I'll still be doing cars with the trailer, you know, if needed, and I will also be doing power only if needed as well. So we're pretty much doing anything. You basically want to be a Swiss Army knife, be able to do everything. So that's ultimately what we're doing. And in the meantime, we are also getting the shop work shop work also pays very, very well. I'm still receiving checks for this thing that isn't done yet. We're just waiting on parts. It's probably like a good day away from being done. We're just waiting on the parts. He said he wants to get the bill paid off before going and buying the batteries and the ECU, which is fair. So do that. So the majority of that is pretty much done. So now the other thing, I said I wasn't going to do this until I was debt free. This is what I said in the truck. I'll talk to you guys about later. I'm thinking about going and getting my authority, because I was going to wait until about October to do it once I was debt free. But then I'm like, you know what? I just got paid for the big trailer. I might as well just spend the money now and go and do it. Now, you guys can save the, pay your insurance for 6 months, let it age, and do this and that. I know that, guys. I've went through this before. I had my own authority back with CP Towing. Authorities are transferable. We found that out. So the authority that we had was transferred over to someone else. So I will be going and getting a different authority. DOT, MC, EIN, business name, the whole 9 yards, everything I have to do. There's a company that Justin uses, and I'm going to go ahead and use that company to set everything up so everything is legal, so there's no bullshit. I want everything as perfect as possible. So yes, that is something we're going to do. I'm going to let the MC age for about 6 to 12 months before I start running loads through it. And I'm still going to stay leased under Justin. Insurance is like $320 a month, which is great. And it's ultimately not that bad for a 400-mile radius. That includes cars, includes RVs. We're just not allowed to have bumper pulls for some reason. So next question. Danny from Texas asks, why, if I'm going to pull the engine, do I not just rebuild the bottom end? Main thinking is, if I'm ever going to rebuild this engine, I'm not going to do that. I am going to go and just buy another one, a whole engine, brand new, not worry about it. That's what I would do. I am not an engine rebuilder. I don't care to learn how to do it. If I'm going to do it one time in my life, it doesn't make sense for me to learn how to do it when I can just go buy a replacement, because ultimately that's not what I don't do that. If I were to go out and buy the tools that I need to do it and then use them once, it really, to me, does not make sense. I would rather just go buy the new engine. There's plenty of life left in this engine, even if, we have a little bit of blow-by. If the rings are bad or whatnot, the engine still physically runs great. I'm going to run this engine and I'm going to let it pay my bills for the next however long until it finally either throws a rod or seizes up. That's my two things. Or it just leaks so much oil that it gets me to the point where I'm like, okay, let's just pull the thing, swap all the parts over to do an engine. So that's ultimately why I'm not going to ever do a rebuild. You will never see me do a rebuild on a 12-valve Cummins. It just won't happen. Bunch of questions about the Ram Charger. I'm not going to say any names because there's a ton of them. So, Ram Charger, if someone wants to move it, ultimately I would probably take about $3,000 for the Ram Charger. Yes, it is a bit high, mainly because I don't want to sell it. I know what I paid for it. I would love to throw some money into it and make some content on it. I just need to wait a couple of weeks before everything all settles out, and then we can start doing some small things to it. We got exhaust, a little bit of rust, clean it up, oil change, spark plugs, wires, distributor, like everything that it needs. We're going to start working at slowly. It needs a good detail and whatnot, so I don't want to get rid of it, but if somebody were to offer me $3,000, that would move it. And I know nobody's going to offer me $3,000 because I think that is a high price. So I don't think it's going to move for that. So that's my bottom dollar on it. Somebody offers me $3,000, they can have it. But please don't offer me $3,000 because I don't want to sell it. Same with the box truck. I love the box truck. But if somebody were to offer me $3,000 for the box truck, which does run and drive, by the way, it probably just needs a good trans service. I did verify the other day. I was able to get it to move. But if somebody offered me $3,000 for the box truck, my dumb ass would sell it. And that's something that I do hate about myself, is that I always, every time something's paid off, I want to sell it. I don't know why that logic is. I don't like material possessions unless it's physically paying me money. Like, same thing with my truck. Somehow I've not sold this thing. I don't know why. I've gotten offers for around $15,000 for the truck, and I turned them down. I turned it down. I think people are crazy for offering me $15,000 for the truck, but I've turned it down, and I will not sell my black truck. Now, somebody offered me double that, I'd probably have to think about that, but I ultimately would not want to sell my black truck at all, because then I'd have to start over. And the things that I like about it, you know, the front bumper, the rear bumper, like everything I've done to it is my taste. And it just works for me. I'd have to rebuild another one, and if I sold this for 30, it would cost me 30 just to build another one, I would think. So, because if I can go buy a truck for 12 to 15,000, I would end up probably throwing another 10,000 into. I don't know. Maybe I'd break even. Who knows? I am Mimic. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. And there was a ton of other people that asked this too. Am I going to 12-valve swap the Ram Charger? 99.9%. Absolutely not. I'm not going to do it. I don't think financially it makes sense. If I could find 4BTs for cheap, I would love to do a 4BT swap on it, but I don't want to swap transmissions and transfer case and drive shaft lengths and all this and that. To me, I don't want to do it. I think it would be badass, but unfortunately, with how cheap I am and how much I like to sell things, I ultimately think that I would probably never do a 12-valve swap or a 4BT swap on the Ram Charger, unless somebody paid me to do it. Then I would go ahead and do it, but I probably won't do that. John Hawk, I gotta put your comment in here because good comment. Do I work on 7.3s? I've already answered his comment in the comments, but I'm gonna go over this now. For my anything shop-wise, okay, I have a deal with my dad. He owns that shop, also owns CMP Automotive. I pay a certain amount to be able to use that shop, and I get charged, you know, to use the shop for other people's stuff. I get that there's some people that may think, oh, that's unfair, you should be allowed to use it for free. I think that's bullshit. If he has to pay the overhead, the electric, the heat you know, all that stuff, if he's got to pay for that and he just spent a ton of money on the shop, yes, absolutely. If I'm making money in there, I should have to pay a little bit. So, for what I work on is anything 1st gen all the way up to 4th gen. I'll do anything from the 89 Ram 35 2500s all the way up to 2018s. I have never touched a 19, 20, or 21 or 22. I've only ever touched up to 18s. I've worked on plenty of 16s, plenty of 18s, 15, 13, pretty much every one of them except, I don't know that I've ever touched a 15. 15 or a 17 I've never touched. But, or a 10. Never touched a 10 either. So, that's what I do. Anything on those. No, I don't do anything internally on engine-wise, but if you need head studs, you need injectors, you need turbos, you name it, I can do it as long as it's not internal, past taking the head off. I can do head gaskets, that's not a big deal, but like replacing pistons, replacing the jets for the oil, anything like that, yes, I can replace oil pans, you know, the whole 9 yards, but just no rebuilds, let's put it that way. No rebuilds. I can do head work, cannot do bottom end work. It's just not something that I want to do, and it doesn't pay me enough to sacrifice me buying all the parts to be able to work on it, or buying all the tools, I mean. So yes, anything between 89 and 2018 Dodge Ram, anything diesel. My dad, big fan of Hemis. He does any of the Hemi work, so if you guys need anything like that, let me know. Shop rate is $95 for diesel work, $75 for everything else. John Hess asked why I pulled off to the side of the highway because my lights didn't work. Mainly because the brakes didn't work on that trailer. There was an intermittent issue with the trailer. I did end up figuring it out, but I pulled off to the side of the turnpike going down a mountain because I didn't have any trailer brakes, and that trailer weighed about 15,000 pounds. So I was relying 100% on the truck. I didn't have an exhaust brake, and I was able to get it stopped somewhere safe, and I decided I'm going to take that opportunity and fix it on the side of the road. That way I have brakes, lights, because I didn't have turn signals or four ways either. So something was going on with that fifth wheel. I was able to take care of it, and all said and done. So that's ultimately the reason I did that. For one of the last few videos, if you guys saw that, I was towing a camper. Mr. Odd Smurf, you comment on a lot of videos. I appreciate you sticking around for as long as you have, because I've been seeing you for a while. I love the comment because he didn't like the SpongeBob meme where you need a Class A CDL to pull that trailer. Love it. The sarcasm is great. So for the guys that do wonder, no, you do not need a CDL for any trailer over 10,000 pounds. Don't know where you guys are getting that other than California. You look on the FMCSA, specifically Class A CDL rules are if you are over 26,000 pounds inclusive to a 10,000 pound trailer, or 10,001 pounds or more trailer, you need a Class A CDL. Class B, if your power unit is over 26,000, you can't tow a trailer over 10,000 pounds. Otherwise, it's then a Class A. And then Class C, you can tow anything up to 26,000 pounds, and then there's some like commercial bus stuff in there and whatnot. But ultimately, as long as you are under 26,000 pounds and you don't live in the state of California, I can elaborate more on this, but there are people that will tell you, Well, why not just go do this? Because even though it's legal, DOT can give you a hard time about it. Because if DOT is going to give you a hard time about something, even if it's legal, you should be allowed to do it. There's a reason it's legal. So if DOT is going to give you a hard time about it, it shouldn't matter. Like I said about the inspection on the truck, you don't need a commercial inspection on a Hotshot if you live in a state with state inspections. And someone said, well, why not just do both? Because it's not required. If a DOT officer is going to give you a hard time for it, that's bullshit. And they shouldn't be allowed to give you a hard time for doing something that's legal. So if they're going to give you a hard time and say it's illegal, they're full of shit, and then you have to go and get a lawyer. It's like, we shouldn't be defending these DOT officers that are lying and trying to give you tickets for something you didn't do wrong. I live in Pennsylvania. I do not require a commercial inspection on my truck. It took me a long time to realize that, but it's right on the FMCA website. So, no need to get a DOT inspection on it. And I'm not going to DOT inspect my truck. I took the sticker off. I did my research, and I learned all I need is a state inspection. Not one DOT officer has ever given me an issue for not having the DOT sticker. Yes, I've run without it and never had an issue. The only reason I started doing it was because people were scaring me into getting it, and then I realized I don't actually need to do that. Why would I spend money on something, or why would I waste my time doing something that I don't need legally? So that's the thing. You can run non-CDL. They are twisting some rules around and making it that if you have a truck and trailer, say you have a 14K truck and a 12K trailer, but the trailer for some reason weighs over, they'll use the GVWR of the truck and the actual weight of the trailer, or vice versa, to say that you're over 26,000 pounds even though you're not. Not sure that that's legal either, but that's what they're doing and getting non-CDL guys in trouble. Best bet, I do recommend just getting your CDL, but you don't have to if you are towing within your legal limits. So just gonna put that out there. AQK Boone, you comment a lot too. I've seen you for the longest time, so I know that you've been around for the longest time, and I appreciate you too. He asked, why do I not park my trailer at home? Mainly because we're only allowed to have 2 vehicles, and commercial vehicles are absolutely not allowed. That's just the rules of the park. It's more of like an old folks park, honestly. It's a quiet, calm, very picky place to live. Lot rent is a little bit higher. I think we pay like $520 a month for the lot rent. And honestly, knowing what I'm paying for that, and then the heat bill every 3 months with the gas and electric every month and all this and that, I wish that like my best bet, next thing if I ever do anything, I am definitely going to be renting, because it is so much cheaper, and that's just going to be that. But yeah, we're wasting a lot of money living in that, even though it was a cheap place. I think it was like $8,000 for the place, but we don't own the land, and there's that. So yeah, why don't I park there? There is room there. I do park there every now and again, but if I were to try to permanently park there, I guarantee you there would be issues. They go around every now and again writing people letters like, you got to stay in your porch, you got to put grass seed down. I just put a ton of grass seed down. It's just one of those things that, yeah, we're not allowed to park commercial vehicles there or trailers. So you can get away with it every now and again, but I can't do it constantly. So that's why I have 2 spots now. I have this spot over here, and I have that spot over there where my Ram Charger's at. Bunch of questions on this. I'm gonna go through this one quick. That trailer that I was towing, those jacks they put on them, they mount them way too low, and even though they're all the way up, they hit the ground. Like at the fuel station, I scraped 2 of them on the ground because that's just the height that they do. They do that from the factory. Absolutely stupid. There was plenty of room to pull them up 1 or 2 more holes, and that's just how low they mount them. Alexis Picardo asks, are transfer plates needed for doing power only? So there's funny stuff about that. Minnesota, I had a transfer plate when I was with RV Mafia, Robinson Transport. There are states that do not recognize transfer plates. Iowa, and there's a bunch of them out west that just don't recognize them. You have to get temporary registration in every state. I'm not sure about what Pennsylvania's law is. I ran that trailer. It didn't have a plate on it. I didn't have an issue. I ran it down into Maryland. Like I said, no issues. It was all turnpike work anyway, so there's not like any scale houses or whatnot. Not that there's many in PA anyway, but where I was going, I didn't have an issue. I had plenty of cops out that day. I had plenty of cops pass me. I had a cop pass me and pull the guy over in front of me. I don't know. I don't know the whole rules on that, but there are a lot of states. Yes, you technically are required to have a plate on it. Every state's different though. They require, even if you have one, some of them require you to get temporary registrations. And the fine is really expensive if you don't get that temporary registration. Stupid expensive. James, I believe that's who it was, asked me, when I do the body work, am I going to delete the cab lights? No, I'm going to get brighter ones. I want to get white cab lights with bright amber inside of them so that they can be seen around the light bar, because right now it kind of blocks them a little bit, but at night you can still see them. During the day, it's not really a big deal because they're off anyway, so I'm just going to go get white ones and make them brighter. And at night, you can still see the cab lights. You can see the reflection of them, but they should be a little bit brighter, so I'm going to do that. Crypto-related question that I figured, should I do another channel for, like, crypto stuff? Because I don't want to do another channel for like, people wanted me to do a channel for Hotshot, do a channel for Mechanic, and that just won't work with YouTube's analytics if I were to stop posting. Like, if I post every day, my analytics go up. If I miss a day, they go down. It's just how it works. So crypto is something that I don't have, like, I don't talk about it too much, but do you guys want me to start another channel with that? Because there's a lot of things that going on and updating and whatnot, and I have a shitload of money invested into it. I have a lot more money in my crypto account than I do in my bank account, and it will be 100% monitored, because I notice every now and again I get the spam bots that are on the crypto channels, and they come to my channel, and I'm like, I don't even talk about it that much. I just mention it at the end of videos. So I always report them spam and then block the comments that are just robots trying to... There's a bunch of scams going on. Just don't fall for that shit. Hector asked, why don't I powder coat the bumpers? I've learned over the years that powder coating actually sucks. What I've learned about the reason it sucks is because if it chips somewhere, you got to start all over, restrip it, and then redo it. It's bullshit. I'll take paint any day. So the front and rear bumpers, those are going to get powder, or not powder coated. They're going to get underlined. They're going to get undercoated, you know, all that. So I'm going to undercoat the front and rear bumpers, and then the side steps as well. And then probably at some point, maybe we'll paint the wheel covers black. We'll see. I like the look of the wheel covers over the factory wheels. It's just me. So yeah, that's a thing too. Powder coat sucks. I'm going to take paint or undercoating. Question about waste oil. Can you run waste oil in your 05 Cummins? I don't recommend it. Unless you're going to do like a 95 to 5% mix, or like 10%. I don't recommend it. I don't think those pumps like it at all. The P pump can take it. I do have a setup ordered. I ordered an auxiliary fuel tank or fuel pump, whatever the thing they're called. The fuel pump, the nozzle. I ordered that with the motor, with a fuel filter. So so my tank will be completely separated from the truck. So I can put whatever fuel in there I want, and then fuel up whatever I decide to fuel up later on. But any waste oil is going to go through a filter, and then it's going to go into whatever it is. And I also ordered 100 of those like paint thinner things that, you know, the funnels. I ordered a bunch of them too, so we're going to be funneling it, we're going to be filtering it, and it's going to be good, clean waste oil. Even if there's a little bit of water in it, I don't care. I'll run water in the system. I've run coolant. It doesn't matter. The P-pump doesn't really give a shit. I need a new P-pump anyway, because mine's kind of like leaking oil out the small little section out the side where the fuel shutoff's at. So I need to get my P-pump rebuilt at some point anyway, or just buy a new one. So it's not really if it ever fails, I can go and buy a used 12-valve engine for the same price that you would pay for a new P-pump. So, and I can get them for around $1,000, the P-pumps. But a new one through my supplier, they're like $2,500. So it's like, I might just go and buy another motor. But yeah, so that's going to be done as well. All that stuff is on order. Just waiting on it. That's going to be awesome. So guys, also just want to let you know, because a lot of people ask, how can you contact me? Well, if you look down in the description, there's my email down there, and there's my Instagram down there. The email is going to change 100% when I go and get the business license. I don't know at this point what to call the business. I'm completely dropping the CP, just because honestly, I'm really over it, and I don't want to be associated with certain people that have that as their name now anyway. So it's like, I'm kind of just dropping it, and we're going to completely go a different route. And I need to find a business name that matches automotive and transport, because those are going to be the two ultimate things that I'm going to be focusing on. Like, nothing is changing. I'm doing the same thing I do, but I'm jumping around from different things. Like between power only, freight will be new. So that is a change. I will be doing freight. Car hauling is still going to happen with the new trailer, and power only, and, you know, mechanic work. So all that's staying the same. We're still staying consistent. Still going to keep building this truck. We'll see what happens to the box truck. We'll see what happens to the Ram Charger. But if you guys want to get in contact with me, everything is down in the description. Just feel free to send me a message on there. If you want stuff done, if you want stuff built, let me know. I can do 12-valve swaps now. Shop rate's $95 an hour. We're in Shermansdale, Pennsylvania, or Carlisle, Pennsylvania. And anything else is $75 an hour. bunch of guys asked, why do I move stuff around the shop, around the yard a lot? I finally got another place, another piece of storage, so I don't have to worry about that as much. But I make do with whatever I can. I make do with this little amount of space that I have. I'm doing a lot with the little amount that I do have. Trying to keep the overhead expenses down a lot. I pay, I think, $135 a month for one spot and then $147 a month for the other spot. So you guys can do the quick math on that. I think it's like almost $280 or something like that for both spots. I'm doing the best I can with the little amount of room that I have. I need to move stuff around. I need to organize stuff a lot. It is what it is. One day I'll have land, one day I'll have a shop. It's just, I can't do everything all at once. The majority of my money is invested in crypto right now. I'm investing while the market's down so that, you know, maybe someday I can triple, quadruple, or even more than that my money, but I'm just long-term holding on that. We'll see where everything's at in December. If I like the numbers in December, I'll sell. If I don't like the numbers in December, I'll just keep holding and I'll keep throwing more in. Wouldn't mind having $50,000 invested by the end of the year, but we'll see. With what I have in there now, it's 100% doable, but I am gonna be I'll be trying. So there's a dog. There's a dog running around out there. Never mind, there's people out there. I was gonna say, I was like, man, doggo. But next question. So that's pretty much all the questions I can find right now. If you guys have any other ones, feel free to send me a personal message. I always get back to every one of them. It does take me some time every now and again. I'm not super busy today. I'm not busy at all today, to be honest. I just had to ship something out quick, and that was pretty much it. So tomorrow we should have something in the shop. We'll be doing, I think I'm doing gauges tomorrow on a third-gen truck. So there's that. That should be about 4 hours, and then call it a day on that. Still waiting on him. So just once he pays the bill off, everything's good. And then, yeah, I'm going to head home now. So hope you guys enjoyed. Appreciate you guys for sticking around. The guys that have been dedicated to watching the channel every day, I do appreciate you guys. I know at times probably make the content a lot better. I try to make do with what I have. I try. So try to give you guys something to watch. You guys get to see real life of basically what I'm doing, not just like none of it's staged. It's just, this is what I'm doing. Some days if I don't have anything to do, I can just make a video on me working on the truck, which there will be plenty of content with the gaskets and the rebuild this week. So we'll probably get 2 good videos out of me doing that. And then we got the auxiliary pump that's coming, so that'll make a video. So we got 3 or 4 good videos coming with that stuff. So appreciate you guys sticking around. I dropped Celsius.network, by the way, at the end of the video here. I dropped them because they're not allowed to pay you interest on anything that is deposited after the 15th of this month. I guess they got in trouble with the SEC. So anything that was in there before the 15th, they're still going to pay you interest on, but I didn't have enough in there to I didn't have enough in there for it to make sense for me. So I've completely switched over to Trust Wallet. All my stuff is in Trust Wallet. They store on a cold wallet. You can log out, write your 12-word phrase in, and then it's secure. As long as you don't lose your 12-word phrase, it's pretty much stored in a cold storage wallet at that point, unless you want to go Ledger. Ledger was pretty good, but I do like my Trust Wallet because it kind of gives you the benefit of being able to log in whenever you want and check your stuff. But it's also nice you can pay people if you need to. Like there's certain people that'll pay me in crypto and I can pay them in crypto. So that does work out every now and again. It makes it super easy, but I love Trust Wallet, and that is going to be the product. I've been using them for about a year now. Absolutely love it. So other than that, go check out my Amazon affiliate links if you guys want to support the channel. It's all stuff I use and all stuff I'd like to give back to you guys. So if you click on it, you make me a little bit of money and you get to use a product that I trust. So I didn't put anything down there that I don't trust. And then there's Coinbase, which I just use to buy my crypto on, and I don't ever keep it on Coinbase. I have like $3,500 sitting in Coinbase right now because the funds haven't cleared yet. Like they've come out of my account, but they haven't cleared. So I gotta wait till like Wednesday or Thursday before I throw all that into Trust Wallet. Sucks, but it is what it is. And then Mudflap, go check out Mudflap. Appreciate you guys. See you in the next video. Talk to you later. Bye.